Do you want to know how to make the best homemade glazed donuts? Because I'm gonna show you. This is everyone's favourite. They disappear so quickly and they melt in your mouth delicious and they're easy to make. So let's get started. But before we do, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications. In a large mixing bowl, combine 1 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 packet of instant yeast, which is about 7 grams or 2 1/4 teaspoons. Next, whisk that together. Now we're gonna add our hot milk, but before that create a well in the center. Then add 1/4 cup of oil. 2 egg yolks and 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract or 1/2 teaspoon, whichever one you prefer. Whisk all of that to combine, then cover in plastic wrap and let it rest at room temperature for about 10 minutes or until you see some bubbles form on the surface. This is how I proof the yeast to make sure it is still active. Make sure to cover it properly. Now add your remaining 1.5 cups of flour, adding just enough so that your dough holds together and no longer sticks to the sides of the bowl. Whenever you're measuring flour for any baking product, it's super important that you measure correctly. If you add too much flour, the dough will be dense and dry, and the donuts won't puff up correctly. You can add more flour if you need to, but don't add too much. You'll need to knead the dough for about 3 minutes with the spatula. Once the dough comes together, knead it by hand in the bowl for about 5 minutes. Make sure it's not sticking to the sides of the bowl. Add more flour if needed. Kneading requires a little bit of effort. When you're done, you'll have a soft, smooth and slightly sticky to the touch dough. Now form the dough into a circular ball and cover tightly with plastic wrap, making sure that it doesn't dry out. Let it rest in a warm spot no hotter than 100 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes or until it's doubled in size. If you have extra time on your hands, you could leave it at room temperature for about 1.5 to 2 hours for it to double in size. As you can see, it has doubled in size. You can now lightly flour your work surface. Make sure not to add too much flour. Add just enough so that the dough doesn't stick to your surface. You can now flat your dough out in the bowl. Turn your dough out onto the smooth surface that has just been lightly floured. Knead it a bit before you roll it out. Using a rolling pin, gently roll the dough into a large flat disc. You want to roll the dough until it's about 1/3 to 1/4 inch thick. Cut out the donuts using a donut press, or you could use a large cup. Keep them as close as possible to cut out as many as you can. You should get about 11 to 12 donuts and donut holes. Now you can take the middle part of the donut out. Once all of your donuts and donut holes are cut out, transfer them to a parchment lined baking sheet. With the scraps that are left, you can re-roll them to get more donuts. Don't forget to lightly flour your work surface again and knead the dough before you roll it. Make sure to roll the dough gently. Now all of my donuts are cut out. Now cover your donuts with plastic wrap or a tea towel and let them rise in a warm place for 20 minutes or at room temperature for about 45 minutes until you see they are visibly puffed. Now heat up your oil so that it's ready to fry the donuts. As you can see, the donuts have doubled in size. Before we start frying our donuts, we're going to make the glaze. Into a mixing bowl, add 70 grams of powdered sugar and 6 tablespoons of milk. Now stir gently to combine. Add about half a teaspoon of vanilla extract and carry on stirring. Our donuts are now ready to go into the oil. Place them in one at a time. And make sure you keep your eye on the heat. The donuts are now ready to be taken out of the oil. As you can see, they are golden. Make sure to let them cool for a bit before they go into the glaze. After all the donuts are ready, put your donut holes into the oil. Turn them around when they are golden. Make sure not to add too much in at once. They are now ready to be taken out of the oil. Don't forget to let them cool and drain the oil before you put them on the rack. The donuts can be glazed. Place them into the glaze and get chopsticks to turn them around. Make sure to evenly coat all sides. Before you take them out, make sure to drain and then let them cool for a bit and harden up. This is the finished product. We are now ready to eat. Let's taste it. As you can see from my reaction, they're delicious. Make sure to try them at home. Now I'm going to finish my donuts off camera, but before I go, please like, subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, guys.